Up and running, and Villa is loud.
Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Rich, and I'm back with the show, the one you've all been waiting for. I think this is the pinnacle of talking tactics shows that we've ever done. I think reflecting on Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 0. It still hasn't sunk in yet, quite sunk in, but I'm here with our favourite football data expert, Gareth. Gareth, what a game!
Just about come down from it. What we on Thursday? Just incredible. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a Super Six group with my old man and my brother-in-law, and I put a 2-2 Villa. I put a 2-2, and I was really confident. My missus is a City fan, but I was still confident. I thought maybe not a win. I thought if we take a point, that'd be really good. But from the off, you could see what was going to happen. The game plan, they carried it out fantastic, didn't they?
Yes, 100%, 100%. Well, look, we're going to get all into it. We've got your usual viz plus a couple of little extras. We've got your match of the day style analysis, looking at some of the finer details of the game, and yeah, a tactical masterclass, I think we have to say. Before we get into all of that, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I think we're 12, 13 away from 2,800. I am sure we can do that today. We're on the road to 3K. Help us get there. Like, subscribe, comment down below your thoughts. And today, Friday, is a massive day for the channel. We've got this show talking tactics. We've got opposition preview for Arsenal with Dan Potts from AFTV and Football's 12-man pod. And we've got our live show tonight. So make sure you stay tuned to the channel and yeah, like, subscribe, and help spread the word. So yeah, get into our usual viz. We have got passing network for Villa first. We'll do the passing network for Villa. This is minutes 1 to 85, so a real good chunk of the game. Anything specific that you notice in here? I know the game plan that Bournemouth had was really effective against us, limiting our passes. Was there any sort of changes or any sort of like things that you noticed from this passing network in this particular game for Man City?
Oh, I think one of the things we should say is there was no halftime substitution, which
Mm.
was sort of tells you a great deal about how all 11 players, including Martinez, were carrying out that game plan perfectly. And I include Leon Bailey in that, who's not sort of one who's sort of struggled to adapt to this sort of style and this setup a lot, but he was really good in and out of possession. But yeah, we can see there we've not gone down that left hand side that we normally probably would go down. Carlos saw a lot of the ball. I think he was the top passer for Villa. Saw a lot of the ball, into constant command and just keeping that sort of moving across that defensive line sort of thing. But yeah, nothing really stand out from it. Just a lot of balls from Martinez, 32 passes in total in the game, I think he completed. So a bit more involvement for Martinez, but you'd expect that against Man City as we tend to try and keep possession and build up from the back.
Yeah, only thing I would probably say from that is not a huge volume of passing between Pau and Carlos. So would that indicate that from Carlos in particular that those passes were forward into more incisive areas, or like I say, heavily out to concert, like down that particular side, rather than going across and like keep passing between the two centre backs?
Yeah, quite possibly. You're trying to avoid wide areas. You know that City like to press high. That's what they do. But one thing I should say is that it was more of 4-4-1-1. So you notice straight away that Tielemans was in behind Watkins, and that's because he's preferred to Diaby because of work rate off the ball. It's as simple as that. But as a manager, you don't change for your opposition. You might do little tweaks here and there, of course, and we didn't change. It was pretty much the same sort of shape and tactics that we've seen, the 4-2-2 in position. It was the same sort of thing. And it was interesting that he played Tielemans in behind Watkins, I thought, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. You've added in Man City's passing networks. You've gone minute 1 to 68 on this, so again, a good chunk of the game. Anything particular in this that you noticed in this analysis?
No, I think it was something like 94 passes for Ruben Dias, and you can see that he is the fulcrum at the back there for what we do. And this is testament to us because you can see that City are sort of quite compact. That's how they tend to be on average, and it is what it is. The minutes are 1 to 68, obviously, until their first substitution. So they actually made a substitution before we did because obviously he wasn't happy with what he was seeing. But yeah, again, Bernardo Silva sort of in that position because he changed from a wide area into a central position, and that was the first change for City. Pep wanted to get more control in midfield because we were just dominating it in midfield. We were being able to move the ball across the pitch really well, and that's why he ended up putting Bernardo Silva in there. Did it work? Not really, did it?
No, and it's me and Kev spoke about this like from a layman's perspective of, City try and add players into that midfield area to kind of keep getting overloads, and then someone will break out of it, or they'll manage to engineer a space down the sides or through to Haaland. But we were just so effective at dominating that midfield, and maybe not having like, someone like a Rodri who's a bit more clever in possession, or someone as deft as, I don't know, let's say a Foden, for example, in those central areas, or De Bruyne. Obviously, they haven't got him who can play those quick passes. It was just noticeable to see that they were quite laboured when they got possession in those areas.
Yeah, and don't forget, we against Bournemouth, we showed it before. We were quite compact. We were quite in this game. We weren't. We were really exposed. We saw in our passing network, we're really expansive on average. And these passing networks, they take into account both in and out of position, so they're just average positions, and that gives us a sort of an idea of where we're at, sort of thing. But like I say, we were quite expansive. We were open. We covered off wide areas. We tried to funnel them through midfield. I mean, I think at the end of the game, I was thinking, I don't remember John Stones barely touching the ball. I mean, he did. Don't get me wrong. And so did Akanji. But you don't remember these players sort of affecting games as much as they did. And I think that's because we were brave. And we'll see that in a minute.
Yeah, sure. Expected threat in terms of passes and set pieces. Louise there at the top. Silver, interestingly, next, and Walker next. Anything particular that you noticed here? I mean, fair few City players in there, but generally everyone's pretty much of a muchness there.
Yeah, I mean, Diaz is sort of in a mould of a Pau Torres in a lot of his passing. He's quite a good passer of the ball, especially long and into high areas, wide areas that are a threat to us. And Bernardo Silva is a very similar sort of passer to Douglas Luiz. He tries to play forward when he can and into good areas and into feet. So it's not surprising really to see them through. Kyle Walker again slinging balls down the line into high expected threat areas, but yeah, it wasn't too bad, did it? And we didn't see Luca Digne involved as much, but it's a game plan.
Yes. This one you tweeted out, teased everyone with it. I mean, just to restrict Manchester City to 2 shots on target, 2 big chances in essence, but just 2, and then look at the peppering that we gave their goal is just a joy to see.
Yeah, and those 2 were the 2 double saves of Emi Martinez. So from Haaland twice, the shot, and then the exceeded header. That's it. That is all they meant. That is all they managed to get on target. And it's almost like there's a fault in the data there. It's almost like, well, that's not right. That can't be right. But it was, and it was just incredible. It was almost like a bit of a sort of I don't know, sort of like a sliding doors kind of moment when it was like we could have gone one way, we could have gone the other, but it was bizarre.
Yeah, just crazy. I mean, and then the timeline. I mean, there's not much to see about this one because just to see that one line for Man City is just absolutely crazy.
When I saw the shot map and then plotted this, I just laughed. I just thought it's a 0.05 shots that wins the game for us, and it was. Yeah, it was just, but you could see it coming, couldn't you? I think we
Yeah,
deserved
you
to win.
could.
Nobody could have sort of said that. I said to my
Yeah.
missus, I said, it's not just the fact that sort of Villa were really good, that City were quite poor, and don't get me wrong, but Villa were really, really good.
Yeah, it was a domination of City,
It was a
dominant
perfect storm.
performance. Yeah, every player played to 8, 9, 10 out of 10. City
Yeah.
weren't quite at it. They had players missing, etc., etc. But that's not taking anything away from Villa. And like you say, the quality of the chances that we did create and the goal that we end up scoring in terms of the way that it happened, it's just slightly ironic that it was kind of a deflected shot that won us the game, but it was thoroughly deserved.
Yeah, I mean, some people might say you earn your luck, but I mean, when you're sort of creating that many chances that we were creating, we should have, we could have won the game 3-0. And I don't think City would have had any complaints about that. I think that was pretty good, but we just need to be that little bit better in our finishing. And of course, it means nothing if we don't sort of do anything on Saturday.
Exactly. Well, guys, we're going to get into the full analysis now in terms of Gareth's screenshots, but just a quick reminder, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help us on the road to 3K, comment below your thoughts on our tactical battle against and City and at what it means moving forward for us. So let me just get onto our screen. First of all, we've got a few things to go through. We're looking at this one. It's we've got license to press. What were your kind of observations here, Gareth?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like being brave on and off the ball. This is off the ball, obviously. And I think, we had to press high. I think City don't expect teams to do this, and not enough teams do it because they haven't always necessarily got the players to do it, or they're just worried about getting beaten in behind by Erling Haaland. We weren't. It's a case of let's just go for it. This is the game plan. We're going to press high. This is when Silva came into the centre. So I think this is in the second half. But it happened in the first half, and I tried to find a few instances of it, but I couldn't in the end. But Douglas Luiz and Kamara both pushed really high as they are here in this thing. They did this all game long, and it was really, really important to do that. And this is why people like Stones, people like Akanji, people like Nico Lewis, they couldn't get on the ball because we were just covering off errors. And this is where Leon Bailey, for me, was important. He needed to do that job on the left-hand side there, and he did it well because otherwise that's your missing link. That could be your weak part. And the good thing is that he was on that side of the coach, Emery, on the second half.
Yeah.
The instructions are always going to be coming, so it's really important. But I can't even pick out one player who didn't press and didn't do their jobs well.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just having a slight technical issue with this computer, so just bear with me 1 second. There we go. Sorry, just slightly slow. In the next part, we've got boxing them in. So what were you noticing with this situation here?
Yeah, I mean, now you would think that this is sort of like not 2 seconds after I've took the previous screenshot. It's not. It's about 10 minutes. It's about 10 minutes later. And it just goes to show that you're still doing the same things. You're keeping those things going. Can we box them in? Can we sort of do anything higher up the pitch? If we can win the ball, can we turn them over? Can we do different things? But unless you press high and don't give them the time on the ball, these are good ball players, City, don't get me wrong. So you need to put them under pressure to do it. And again, Leon Bailey here, critical in coming inside. And look at that. You can see 6 Villa players, all in the space of sort of like about 15, 20 yards. You need that. Really good.
100%, mate. Brilliant stuff. Breaking the lines and something that we did really, really, really well. Again, your thoughts on that, because you've got highlighted Diego Carlos there. I need to call him Roberto Carlos. Diego Carlos there, and I think this is the pass that led to the goal into Tielemans. I think you might correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, just look at that pass, like the incisiveness. You've got him being pressured by Haaland. You've got 2 players here, Lewis and I think that's Kovacic, into Tielemans. I mean, just wonderful vision first of all, but then the ability to, and the kind of balls, for want of a better word, to play that pass is just tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, you will get your answer to the question about where that pass goes in the next slide. But for now, we can see that's why I've drawn these lines. It's all about breaking the first line, your attacking line. Can you get that ball past the midfield line? So you've breaking the lines. This is what it's all about. Can we get that ball from those deeper areas? And this is what Carlos, we saw it in the passing network, where he was so dominant in those passes out to the right side rather than back to Pau Torres. So that answers that sort of question for us a little bit. So, breaking those lines is really important. And as you can see, you think that ball's going to go into Yuri Tielemans, but it's not. It's not. It's going to go straight to Leon Bailey. And this was the goal. You were right in that aspect. An incredible pass. So this is what, when we talk about packing, it's about when a pass, how many players of the opposition does that miss? That's what packing is called in football. And you can see here, there you go, the proof's in the pudding. 5 players bypassed in total, straight into Leon Bailey, and you're at them. Fantastic.
Yeah, and then the touch. He's still got to have the first touch, and the first touch was just sublime. Takes him into that area, and then he does the rest. And like you say,
Yeah.
you earn your luck in this game.
Yeah, you're looking at what your ball playing centre halves, your midfielders, what can they do to get the ball into these sort of players, and then it's up to a little bit of individual skill, should we say? We saw it with Michael Elise the other week at Luton. Balls like this into sort of players like this. What can they do? Can they beat their man? Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. What a goal it was. Um, Again, brave on the ball. And again, you said breaking the City back line. I mean, so much bravery on the ball was just crazy. The likes of Louise, Kamara got, as the game went on, got more and more brave on the ball. Tielemans, like little flicks, little tricks. It was just a joy to watch.
Yeah, the confidence grows as you go on. As soon as you can start to see that City are a little bit, you're playing off of the crowd and you're playing off of the opposition's feeling. There's voices going on the pitch that are obviously sounding a little bit panicky from City. I heard them sort of, you've got to cover, and there was certain things going on. I thought, do you know, if we can just keep going at this pace, we're going to do well. And to get those four players across that City back line, that's brave. Even at home is brave, because you've not got any cover then in wider areas apart from Concert, let's say, but you've not got any cover in wider areas. So you've got to be aware of what you're doing. But it was just fantastic to see. It was so brave.
Mm. And I mean, that comes from the manager. That
Yeah.
that comes from the instruction. Absolutely. Quick one here. Game plan part 4 transitions. What are we looking at here, mate? In terms of what did you notice?
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted this picture out in a mini thread, and I wanted to, as part of my I do a little bit of a game plan for myself to see how we're coping week to week. And this was part of the sort of thing we do as analysts, to sort of like try and create that game plan and visualize it on on a bigger screen for players, basically. And you're asking questions. So we saw it with Gary O'Neill, for instance, on Monday Night Football. What can we ask the questions of the opposition? So with City, you're looking at probably defending quite deep a lot of the time. Turned out we didn't have to do a great deal of that. But, what can we do to affect that? So when having to defend in a low block, can we use the ball effectively in the turnover and affect them by turning them around with balls in behind the defensive line? We're going to see in a minute why. Now, I tweeted this out before the game. It was just a sensible thing, sort of a sensible tactic that you think people would use when you're in a low block. And this is the scenario here. And we'll see in the next slide that basically it came to fruition.
Fantastic. Well, look, hopefully someone at the Villa is watching you, because, yeah, like, look at that. You said it. We got the ball out of from defence. McGinn turns on it, plays a quick pass, a longer pass. People thinking maybe it was designed for Watkins. I don't. I think it's maybe looking into get into an area that we knew to exploit, and ends up going to Bailey, and we get our shot from it. But yeah, perfectly put.
Yeah, he basically took another couple of touches, Jenny, here, and just whipped that ball inside of it's not Diaz, is it? Can't see who it is
Uh,
from there.
Not sure who
Sorry,
it is.
Akanji. So yeah, and the ball gets whipped past, and it's into the path of Leon Bailey. And this is what I say: can you put it into areas where you're going to use your pace up top and run? They all expected the ball to go down the channels into Watkins. Time after time, he made that run, but he made sure that he pushed them out wide. So there were spaces in central areas, and it was vital, because you think you're going to go one way, but you're not. You're going another, and that's why I did decide for myself. It was kind of like, it's a common sort of thing. And can Ginny hold the ball up? We know he can do it. Turn, whip that ball across. And it paid off, and time and time again, really.
Yeah. Well, look, mate, that was fantastic. Just that, and you kind of looking at what might happen, and it actually transpiring. So, yeah, wonderful stuff, mate. Yeah, I still can't quite believe, we should really believe it, because we have a real good game plan. We have really good players. We're scoring plenty of goals. So we should be able to mix it with these type of teams. But I think, just summing up, that was a win where, people could have maybe pointed to the fact that we hadn't beaten a City or a Liverpool or an Arsenal at home during that run. Well, that was one to say, there you go. Don't come knocking again.
No, and it's right. It's a good point to make. But the thing that worries me is that if it's away from home against City, that's probably a different result. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to go there and lose, of course, but it's away from home is what struggles me. It's all very well doing this at home, and you can win all your home games as much as you like, but we have to be that little bit better away from home, I think. But yeah, I mean, it was the game plan works, and we don't seem to change it. The odd little thing tweaks, but you can see the formation stays the same, the personnel pretty much stays the same. So the game plan works. You don't change that because you don't. If it's not broke, you don't fix it, obviously. But to do it against City was brave.
Yeah. Well, look, amazing stuff. We've got another tough one to come against Arsenal on Saturday. That is a real test as well. Different test because Arsenal are playing slightly different to the way they were last season. And I've obviously got Rice in midfield, who's absolutely flying at the moment. Saka and Martinelli seem to be getting back to some form. So that is going to be a tough test, Gareth.
Yeah, I think you might see Matty Cash come back in on the right-hand side of midfield for that, maybe. I think the back four will probably stay the same, but you've got pace out wide in wide areas, so you need pace up against them. I'm not sure how Wesley Konsa will sort of fare up against Saka or Martinelli even. So, yeah, some choices to make there, I think, for him.
Yeah. Well, look, he has got as much as a fully fit squad as he can ask for so far as it looks. Obviously long-term injuries, Buendia and Mings, but the options are there to use. The options are there off the bench. So we've certainly got the weapons to go at Arsenal and get a good result. So we will wait and see. Gareth, once again, thank you so much for this analysis. I haven't done this the last couple of episodes, but where can people find you if they wanna get some more info?
Yeah, just find me at that Garate JC. I'm always there.
Brilliant. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do hit that like button, do hit that subscribe button, and help us on the road to 3K. Like I said, we've got plenty of shows coming up. We've got match preview with the lads live tonight. We've got opposition preview with Dan Potts out a little bit later today. And when we've got instant match reaction, full match reaction to Arsenal, hopefully after 3 points. So stick with the channel. Thank you all for watching. And as always, remember, we all follow the Villa. Thanks, everyone.